Hello, guys, and welcome to the Trish Lynn Show. Today, we are talking all things balance and boundaries when it comes to life, when it comes to business. So, we'll give Instagram a second here to catch up, and then. Oh, that was a lot louder than I expected it to be. Quickest request. That is amazing. That was so quick. It was so good.
Just laughing at you slamming your little jug down. Well, that was louder.
Whoops. I didn't think my desk was that close to my hand, and it was smashed.
I've done that. It's like, wow. Spatial ability is not kicked in full today. Okay, so I guess
Welcome
first
to the
question
Trish
is,
Lynn
who's the
Show.
eldest person that you're talking to? So I'm Leah Sparrow. I'm the owner of Leah Sparrow Digital Marketing LLC, but I help online service providers and coaches bring in clients without selling their soul to do so. I'm also pretty much in your face, very direct, brutally honest, but people ask me all the time, where's the compassion? Where's the empathy? There's compassion there. If I'm going to be honest with you to get your head out of your butt real quick so you can make some money, that's compassion. If you're struggling with things and trying to balance life and stuff, I totally understand it. Your business is in your house. So you got to start living your life now the way you want to live it. Otherwise,
Exactly. Oh, I'm so excited for this conversation. So excited for this conversation because it's it is so hard to find that balance when you work from home.
Yeah. I mean, it's staring you in the face every day. I mean, 9 to 5 is wake up at the alarm, grab something as you run out the door, jump on the car, do the commute, bitch at people on the way, go inside, hide from your coworkers until you're ready to actually talk to them, mark your food so they don't touch it, and then go into your little cubicle and start work, come out around noon, talk around the water cooler about Karen down the hallway, and then go back to work until the bell rings and come home, fix dinner, go to bed. Start it all over again. But as a business owner, that's different. And what I always recall is we used to bitch about the owner always going out and playing golf or going hunting or, whatever, but they were out actually making connections with other business owners and talking about growing.
Yeah.
It wasn't marketing and sales. It was, where can I find my next wealth opportunity? And that's what successful entrepreneurs talk about, is growing wealth. It has nothing to do with greed. It has nothing to do with money blocks. It just, how can I make this thing grow? And what's my definition of wealth?
Yeah.
So I'm
out there and networking, meeting people, doing all of the things. Yeah, totally.
I mean, and that's the other thing, is we're doing all the things, and a lot of people want to say maybe it's money blocks, and yeah, it can be, because you can go into people pleaser and stuff like that. But if you have something in place to support you, like, I love data.
Yeah.
I tell my clients all the time, you cannot let business be emotional. And they're like, well, how do you take that out of there?
Yeah.
Data. If you're tracking the right thing, if you're sitting there going, what is not working? Oh my God, look at the data.
I see both sides of things, only because, slowly growing my business online, coming out of that toxic relationship, you have to look at the data. You have to look at what's working, what's not working 100%, from that business perspective. And you have to look at yourself.
Yes.
Because you can be showing up every single day, but not actually being seen. And,
right. And I think that what we're doing when that happens is because you and I both talk about digital marketing. So we both say, get out there, post, say something, blah, blah, blah. But there's a strategy behind that. And we cannot tell you your strategy until we talk to you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it does, I was watching your little short quick live the other day. It does have to do with confidence. And you find that confidence inside of the clarity that you have of who you're serving. And yeah, we can say that, and that's a general statement, and it is, but it's the truth too. And we can't we cannot, I hate people that jump in Facebook groups and ask questions.
Yep.
Yep.
Can we please, can we please expand on this? Because you say you need
And
a
that's
business
kind of where I'm
coach.
like, you guys have questions and stuff, and we give you the same answers. And yeah, a lot of it has to do with really getting to know us and us stepping into our confidence zone and being us. I mean, I jumped in here in your face real quick and stuff, but I'm that way. I'm that person that just comes out and says, hey, I got something to talk about. But when you're in the group asking questions like, should I do groups and how much should I charge? Well, first, do you have paying clients and have you talked to them about it? Stop. Don't ask me because I don't know your situation in your business. I don't know where you are right now. I don't know what I can tell you to do in a comment in a Facebook group
Yeah.
that will help you right now. And you're going to get 60,000 other different opinions, and
Yeah.
nobody's actually stepping in there and asking you, where are you at right now?
Exactly. I love to do content audits. Love them. And it's always the same thing. I have, I will go look at your social pages. A lot of times there's just such a lack of clarity on one, what you do.
Oh,
A
my
lot of
favorite
people,
is they'll say they're one thing, but their content is saying something else completely different. I
exactly.
love that.
Yeah, it's so
What?
much fun. And then, there's no clarity in who they're serving. So looking at those pieces, then I go in and I ask these qualifying questions. A lot of the time it's, do you have clients?
Yeah.
Are you fully booked? If you do have clients, are you fully booked?
Yeah, because it represents two different problems. Because when you're fully booked, it's time, right? And when you're not, it's either consistency in your bookings or you don't have any at all. And all three aspects cater to, are you sharing the value well enough? Are you actually targeting your right person? And is your pricing correct? Because there's strategy behind pricing. It's not just price it what everybody else thinks.
Or price it on what feels good for you. What does your
I
intuition
do
tell?
that with the beginners when they're starting out and they have no freaking idea, but I do give them a suggested
Yes.
baseline,
Yeah.
right? But there is a confidence thing. If you can't say my offer is $3,000 for 6 weeks, then let's see where you can ask and be real with yourself. Sit with it. Ask yourself, how many clients do I have to have every month in order to get the money that I need in my business for it to sustain itself and to sustain it me? If I don't have those three things in place, I'm either working in quantity and sitting in front of the desk all day long trying to get leads to come in, or I'm just hunting for a few clients. And that's all based on your pricing. And I don't know about you, but do you have, when you ask clients about that, you ask them what is your pricing or anything like that, they haven't really thought about how much does it cost for it to sustain me, my business, and how many clients can I handle?
So for me, a lot of the time it comes down to the self-worth piece of my clients don't feel worthy of actually even charging for their services.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And there's the
looking at
mindset thing. So we have this,
looking at all of the pieces combined, I will say, everything that you're telling me is included in this offer. Here's what I would value it at.
right.
Now,
Right.
if you're not there yet, we're going to get you there. We're going to build it up. But
Right.
this is what you should be charging.
Right.
This is the price of the value that, and it's a lot of, at the same time, showing them their expertise, what they're good at, how they're embodied in what they do, because coming from that toxic relationship piece, I'm going to say me, because it's just easier to come back to
Just
me.
right. Yeah. Well, it's easier to share your own story than to try
Yeah.
to guess somebody
We've
else.
been told, I was told for so long that my business was a hobby. I didn't have the personality. I didn't have what it takes, and the narcissist side of things, this was the best. You preach mindfulness, yet look at you, you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Was I crazy before you completely fucked with my head? Or is it now that I'm at my breaking point and I'm snapping because you pushed me that far? Right? But like all of those little pieces add up. And when I share my story, the women who have been in the toxic relationships, they resonate with those pieces, and it's those pieces.
Well, don't you find that those pieces also create that people pleaser mentality? And that's really what the sticking point is when you come to pricing and the boundaries that you create in your own business, because you go into this whole, oh, well, let me open up all the slots and spend all night long working with one client and do all these unsustainable things. because we're uncomfortable saying no to someone
Yeah.
because of the past trauma that we've dealt
Yeah.
with.
The boundaries is a huge piece.
Yeah.
Huge
Yeah.
piece.
And
But
when I found peace to help anybody out there, because I've struggled with people, but also at the same but also at the same time with a serious disease that brought about people. So I'm not even going to get into that. But I spent a large amount of time just in struggle mode, raising a child on my own and things like that, being very, very ill. So if you put yourself first, in other words, if you're freaking tired, take a nap. Yeah. Now I know with when we have kids, it's a whole nother struggle in and of itself. I put in a lot of things for my son so that he could learn up. Good morning. So that he could dress himself. When he was in kindergarten, he was up dressing himself and taking his own shower. And that was because I lowered the shelves in his closet and made it a little easier for him to get his clothes out and put them up because I literally couldn't walk at the time. I had to find a way to take care of my kid and take care of me at the same time. And these are things that are true, real struggles, but I bring that resilience forward with myself because to this day, it's still, if I need a nap, tell people, I'm going to take a nap. I mean, like my mama always told me, she said, I would tell her back in my people pleasing days, but mom, I'm really not busy. I just don't want to hang out with these people, but they want me to hang out with them and blah, blah, blah. Mom goes, you are busy. I said, no, I'm not, Mom. I'm not doing anything. She said, you're busy doing nothing.
yeah.
None of the damn business. What you doing?
No. It's so hard. Like this was my weekend without the kids, and I did nothing, and I loved it. It was
It's the
so
weirdest thing at
nice.
first, though, because doing nothing, you're
It's
like, you're
so
trying to
hard
do
to say
something.
no. It's so hard to say no and honor where you're at. And I actually did a piece of content on this last week because I had to set some really strong boundaries and just say no and say, look, this is where I'm at. This is how I'm feeling. And I felt like a bitch. I
Oh,
felt
yeah.
horrible doing it, but this move, so I just moved. I don't know how long you've been following everything. So I just moved, and the move put my nervous system back into fight or flight and into survival, as if like the exact same feeling from when I left my ex 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I gotta do me. I've got to focus on me, do all the things I know to do, and implement the things I know I need to implement so that I can get back from this faster.
Well, isn't that the hard part, though? Because that really is. It's recognizing when things are actually just daily stress and true struggle overwhelm. There's overwhelm and there's true struggle. There's dealing with a move is a true, I mean, that's not the norm. It's not. And having kids and having to move them, or, a death in the family, or divorce, or illness. I mean, just having the freaking flu can knock your whole world into. I mean, my shelf fell off my wall yesterday. Now I've got a whole closet full of clothes that I have to dig through. I was going to declutter anyway, but hey, let's shift that ahead, a few months.
Yeah.
I mean, so life happens. So that's why it's imperative that you schedule you time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will never get scheduled. Even if it's 5-10 minutes. I mean, I love staycations. I also love workcations. I mean, going somewhere else to freaking do it.
Yeah.
I was talking to a very successful entrepreneur the other day who travels around. She was in Dubai one day, Taiwan the next, and she said, I literally don't leave the room. And I went, oh, I'm sorry. She said, no, seriously, I just travel to order room service. She said, that's just the way I like to travel. And she said, I don't care what anybody else thinks about it. Who says you have to get out and go wander around if all you want to do is find out what it's like to have room service in Dubai?
Yeah.
And you can't.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. I mean, that kind of sounds a little bit of fun.
I know. She's an introvert.
Yeah.
So I can see why she's actually traveling for business and she's doing major speaking events. So I can see why it'd be more like, okay, back to the room. I'm going to go hide now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
that cave days. And that's where her inspiration comes from too. I could tell. And that's, I've noticed, other entrepreneurs who sit and do nothing for 5 to 10 minutes and then get up and go, I know how to do this now. Because they let their brain shut the fuck up for hot.
That's it. That's me. That is me. When I'm in that, questioning state, I'm like, okay, I need to stop this and go do something else. And then it's in that doing something else that all of the answers come through. And it's usually at the worst time. Like yesterday, I was driving to my son's hockey game and I was looking at the trees and like, oh my God, this is so fucking beautiful. Like just the rolling hills, the leaves are such a beautiful color, and all of this content came through. But I was driving.
Yeah,
And I
of
was taking it all
course.
in. Yeah. So you think right now I can remember what it is that came through while I was driving? No. I got home and I was like, shit, what was I saying?
I
Can't
have the
remember.
best freaking conversations in the car.
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn it. This is gold. Why?
Yeah. We need these. I just like my phone's always playing music, and that's when everything starts to come through. But if I record, if I go to voice record, I'm gonna lose my music, and then I lose my train of
What
thought.
I've done? Now, this has helped me. I find out in the mornings is when my brain's going, you know what? I have the best ideas right now. So I will turn on, I have I'll say her name. She'll probably start talking to me.
I say mine might start talking too.
I have an Alexa right over there. And I will ask her to play classical focus and start journaling with my tea and have that quiet space. But see, I'm somebody who also wakes up at 3 a.m. just because my brain has all these amazing ideas. So so I will do that and I'll write down all these amazing ideas and some bullet points and then come back to it. That way I don't have the anxiety of losing the great idea.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll just sit down and do stream of consciousness, whatever it feels like it needs to be. But I've tried recording it and
not the same.
I never go back to it.
It's not the same. Like my content likes to come to me at the most awkward times. In the shower is one. When I'm driving, or when I'm, when you're just falling. Oh, we got some balloons. When you're just falling asleep and you're like,
and that's, here's what I found with that, because I mean, I did that when I was getting my master's degree and my bachelor's degree, where I would be writing my thesis papers, right? And the hardest thing about it, they would tell you what to write. Here's the problem. We don't really know what to write, but they would give you a goal. And you'd sit down and get all this information from your research. And then it's like, how do I put all this together, right? So I would go on a drive and it would tell me, oh, there it is. And my brain would be like, ting, 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 ting. But I was like, how do I harness that and put it into this area where I have all these amazing inspirational ideas for messing around with my horses, or the freaking shelf fell off the wall, or whatever. Enjoying my time with my dogs, waking up my neighbors at 6 o'clock in the morning, just going, well, cool. Welcome to my world, bitches. Buckle up, buttercup. But, and having all these wonderful stories and content ideas. But the one thing that I always say to myself when I'm sitting there rambling in the car, like you do, with a great idea, I will ask myself, well, what am I selling? And is it actually going to help in my content strategy wise? Because we can have some really great and inspirational ideas, and maybe it's just coming out as word vomit right now, but later on it may come to something to fruition if you give your brain something to think about it. Because it's great to have all those great ideas, but is it focused?
Yeah. I have my notebook. My notebook is what I smashed my water cup, my water down on.
It's the universe. It's telling you something.
And I'm getting ready to launch a program in December. And last week I wrote a piece of content around content. I'm like, well, this is good, but I'm going to keep it here because it's not going to support the launch that I'm preparing for.
Right. So you have a lot of ideas that just are not right for the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now I'm just throwing pens around.
This is how your week is going to go. Yeah. Just utter chaos.
So the other part of this conversation is about balance, which This is how my week is gonna go because I have hockey, 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 and more fucking hockey. Did you know that when your kid is in hockey, it consumes your whole life?
Oh, my
I did.
son was in basketball and baseball and
I didn't.
football.
This is his
They
first
live at your
year.
house too.
This is the first year for hockey, and we've got a game tomorrow night, something Friday, a fundraiser dance Saturday, pictures, and a practice Sunday.
I don't miss that.
And that's just my week.
Yeah.
He was at Dad's last week, and it was Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday, I think, because I went and watched his game yesterday, and they got slaughtered. So it's gonna be a good year.
It'll be great.
But then, my oldest plays rep soccer. So now we're going to be throwing that in on top of the hockey schedule.
You need more things to do.
Right? And then my daughter, so I have 3 kids. My daughter wants to start her gym. Well, she doesn't want to, but we want her in something.
You're going to do something.
She's going to start gymnastics again. And I'm like, I am one person. And
I need 6 of me.
Right? I'm one person. I can't be everywhere, and my oldest is working. So it's finding the balance in that the life aspect of life, kids, and all of the things. And not only am I growing, my content marketing business, but the show. This show is growing as well. So it's finding balance in all of these pieces as I still get to continue to show up as a mom, as an entrepreneur, wearing all of the hats, doing all of the things, being the chauffeur. Turns out Friday's a PA day, so it's like
Why? Well, I remember my most recent wonderful moment from hell. I love having an empty nest, but my son still calls me from time to time, usually just because he needs money. He's in college now, but how it always happens in threes. Okay, so I'm driving down the road after a lovely ride with my horse, and it takes 30 minutes for me to go see my horse, so it's like a nice little, talk about all the good ideas moment. So I'm driving down the road, and this deer runs right smack into the side of my truck, even nudges the truck, even scoots a little bit, and I'm like, oh geez. And the truck just, we just continue on down the road, and I'm like, I gotta find a place. It's on a country road, so I'm like, I gotta find a place to pull off. Of course, it's a winding country road, so it's like, there's no shoulder.
Nowhere.
So I finally find a spot, which is actually probably a farmer's entryway to a pasture. And I'm sitting there, and I call the cops. I'm like, oh, good. Here we are, 9:30 night. Yay. Then I get that report. Then I have to, of course, go contact insurance and figure out how to get it fixed. So that happens. So we have the damn deer run into the truck. Then I'm like, why? Why? Then my dog has an echocardiogram. She has to go. She's 14 years old. So we decided to check her heart. She's fine. She's better than I am. Then I come home after getting the echocardiogram, and there's my shelf on the floor, and I'm going, well, fuck. This week I take the truck in to go get it fixed. Of course, I'm going to need a rental car on top of that, and I've still got the shelf and the thing. But my dog's sleeping and doing fine.
And you get it. And these are the pieces, and I love these stories because these are the behind the scenes pieces that we still have to figure it out. And
oh yeah, because on top of that, I've got people requesting to get on calls with me.
That's it.
I have my podcast and then the guest speaking stuff. I mean, I'm booked full with guest speaking opportunities. Thank you, by the way, for having me on here. I got a summit coming up that somebody invited me to be a guest speaker with, and it's like, hi. And then Christmas and Halloween. My son, I'm going to go see my son who's 6 hours away for Thanksgiving. So yeah, I mean, if you're not paying attention to how to incorporate moments for joy and self-care, and living a lifestyle the way that you want to live it now, that doesn't mean spending the cash. It means living the lifestyle you want to live right now. If that means being vanilla and absolutely living a boring lifestyle, then do that.
And I fucking love it. I will just say that because the weekend, I'm like, okay, this is my weekend without the kids. I should be out doing things. things, having fun, enjoying my life. But I know how crazy this week is about to be.
Oh yeah.
That I took the time for me.
You need
I
to.
laid.
I mean, I talked to a Marine, and he said that he was with his group, right? And they're doing this training stuff. And he said that, he was running them hard. He admits it now that he looks back on it. He said, but one of the troop would always ask, but why, which drove him absolutely insane. But he said, but it's when somebody steps up that you can tell is going to be a leader. And he was talking about leadership at the time. He said he was going to be a leader. And he said this particular individual who was part of my troop walked up and said, are you serious about doing that over the next week? Because, man, we're piled on hard and we need a break. And he gave his explanation and told him what he thought. And he was like, you're right. One sec, and made adjustments. And he said, you need to have time to refresh so you can figure out where you're going to go. Because when you get in the muck of it, and this is from a Marine, people, so think about their muck of it, the weeds that they're in. He said, you don't see the forest for the trees. And he said, so sometimes you have to pull back to see what's happening before you can go forward and move quickly.
Yeah. Exactly. It's taking that time to just come back. And, a lot of women that I come into contact with, they think they have to go, 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 but then they don't know where they're going because they just want to go. And if you actually take that moment to come back, then you can get that clarity of, okay, this is where we're going. This is how we're going to get there.
I often use I have 2 horses. They're a mother-daughter duo, and I use them as an example of this because it's so funny. The mother, she had an incredible amount of trauma the first 9 years of her life, to where she didn't trust human beings and became very reactive due to the trauma in everything. Her daughter, on the other hand, was raised by people from the day one. I made sure that she had the right trainers and everything, because horses are reactive anyway.
I rode
scared of leaves
for many years.
You're scared of freaking leaves. But we put a solid foundation on her. So now there's 2 different horses here. And what you're describing is my mare. When she runs randomly.
Yeah.
Just, that's what we're doing. We won't take a second to think about what's going on. Instead, what Barbie does is there's the first random, run away from it. Then she turns around and goes, do we have to do it that fast? Do we seriously have to be in it's urgent and important all the time? Because that's what we're doing. Everything's urgent and important. And knowing where the focus is, it gives you such peace. When you know where to focus in your biz that day, when all the shit has hit the fan, and you're like, well, you know what? All I have time for is 30 minutes in my business, but I know where to freaking focus. I'm going to focus there. I did it. Gives you so much peace. Now you can go focus on you, your kids, and everything else.
Because you have that foundational piece.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it. It's building that foundation so you know what your non-negotiables are. If you don't have the capacity for it that day, last week it was bare minimum. Because this is my time. I need my space. I need to sit and do nothing. I need to be able to meditate if I feel like it. I need to just be me.
And people may be wondering, listening to us, well, what is that one thing that you focus on? Well, the thing is that I see a lot of people trying to do more than one strategy. Networking is a strategy.
Yeah.
So is a website. So is email marketing. So is social media, and any platform under the moniker of social media, because Facebook and Instagram have 2 different strategies, although the basis, the foundation is the same. So if you want to know what those things are to focus on, that's basically bringing people into your services, talking about your services, and it depends on the type of strategy that you want to use as to how that happens. Because there's cold DMs. I don't personally do that, but some people are really good at it. Some people do it right. There's client attraction, which is what we do.
Yeah.
And then there's networking.
Yeah.
And there's other ways to do things that you can pull people in, but the main thing is offer your services, invite people to connect, follow up in the DMs, and move them closer to a sale. That's the only thing you need. I did not say post. I did not say go live. I didn't say any of that shit. I said go share your services.
Yeah. Like for me, my bare minimum is my content on each platform. I have TikTok. I really don't use it as much. Like it's my afterthought. It's there, it's just an afterthought. Facebook and Instagram, no, that's my non-negotiables. Put something out on Facebook. Put something out on
Well, at the same time,
Instagram.
that's you sharing your services, right?
Exactly.
You're doing that
Because
right
you're
now,
yeah.
you know, so it depends on where you are in your business as to how you do that.
Yeah. But your content, like for me, I know that I can show up, give Instagram 10 minutes, you know, network. A lot of people I've started doing a lot more networking. So I did incorporate a few of those meetings last week because it is fun. But at the same time, and I've shared this before, I've shared this in masterminds, why are you going to go sit on a networking call for an hour? Which if that's what you like to do, then go for it. I do that. Right. Or you can sit on Instagram for 20 minutes and go make connections. Go genuinely
That's exactly
connect.
what I do. I do
Yeah.
networking, but I sit there and I look at the networking events and I go, is this worth my time?
Because there are
you can make more money. You cannot make more time.
Yeah.
You know, and the money helps you buy back time by being able to delegate those different tasks, either a tool or somebody else, or to just say no to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that we forget. We forget about some of it because I've talked to business owners that have been in business for 30 some odd years. And there's always these core things that every service provider has where everybody thinks they have to do these things, right? And she said, I'm just not going to do that. It is not conducive. She said, yes, it brings in cash, but it does not keep them here. She said, it's too many one-offs.
Yeah.
I don't have time for one-off. She said, I want people that are serious. I want to use my services for the long haul, because she had levels of services for her business. And I think that's what, we don't say enough of is what also just not just what you can delegate. What can you say no to?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, say no to something. Say no to people wanting to have constant access to all your free shit. Give them one option and tell them that's it. If you want more help, you got to pay me.
Yes. Because everyone's like, well, you need a freebie. My content is my fucking freebie. If you land on my page, you are going to learn something.
I made a course that you can go do over and over and over again, and every time you do it, you'll come up with a different result in it that will give you more clarity on how to book a client. But the fact of the matter is I can get you there faster, either in 90 minutes, or if you want to implement it with me, I can get you there faster in 3 months. I'm not going to guarantee any magic result, but I am going to guarantee that I'll get you there faster.
Well, that's it. I'm
simply because I've been there, done that, and I know all the shit you're thinking about doing.
Exactly.
And I've
that's
helped
what a
hundreds of
lot of
others
people
do the
don't
same
see.
thing.
They just want to chase. They want to come in and chase whatever is free, whatever they can come into for free. I'm like, well, you're not my people.
I mean, I want doers. And so if I've got this, so here's the thing is people have questioned me on this one. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. I'm going to find out. If you want to do my mini course, it's a 5-module course. It's free, 100% free. A lot of people are like, why in the hell are you giving this away for free? One thing I do know is that if you actually make it through that course, then by God, I want to work with you. And you're actually implementing the steps, because digital courses, and if anybody's spent their money on one, I have, digital courses without support do not serve you. They're general information. That's why my course is free. Also, if you're thinking about doing a digital course, only 5 to 10% completion rate, which means you have to work in quantity. I am someone who works one-on-one in intimate situations, so therefore I will get you the results that you need. I do have that digital course there because I've worked with so many, and I know exactly what questions y'all are going to ask when you come to me in a strategy call. I mean, you already said some of the things about the content that you look at. You know the common things. Yeah. So you're sharing that in your content. Yeah. So how long do you want to sit there and engage in free content with general advice, or how fast do you want to get to the point? How fast do you want to get to where you want to be? Yeah. Because you may be asking yourself, well, I'd love to hear somebody tell me something different. Well, they can't be sitting right in front of their face, and you can find out if you even want to work with that person. Yeah. And I see a lot of people making courses before they they even talk to the people that they want to serve.
I've looked at courses and I'm like, me, what I do is very intimate because I want to know you. And from that, we
Well,
get.
the thing we just got done talking about the balance of life. I mean, damn. I mean, we've got entrepreneurs out there who literally want you to just scrap everything and do whatever the hell they say to do, but they don't even take into account your situation.
Exactly. Exactly.
And whether or not it's sustainable for you. That's why we have so many entrepreneurs out there getting bookings, but then finding they can't stay consistent with it because they haven't got a plan that fits their values, their life, and their energy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done preaching.
Yeah. I'm sitting here taking it in because I agree 100%. Every one of us is unique. What we have going on in our lives is different from the next. And it's being able to work with those pieces, not against them. And I find you can go into so many generalized courses. Yes, you're going to learn something for
Yeah,
sure.
you're going to get some value. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You're going to get value because they have tested it over time. I mean, there's certain ones out there that have been around for a long time and they've tested it. You know, but the thing is that, you know, Vanessa Lau, she had the Boss Graham Academy, right? And all of that kind of stuff. And now she completely revamped her whole business. And I think people really need to watch that about her concerns of why she shut down her business, basically, because she was so worried about meeting the necessary income to pay her staff and finding the time to be with her clients and herself. She was losing everything that she had started this whole thing to begin with. And these are things that, you know, she, billionaire, shut it down, changed it. And we've heard that many, many times. Mm-hmm. And actually, you know, we talk about the first 5 years, the number of businesses that actually succeed is very low. But the increased rate of businesses shutting down increases with each passing year. 20 years, the average number of businesses that shut down, this could be for several different reasons too. So is 80%. But that could also be because they sold it. It could also be because they wanted to retire.
Yeah.
So there's different, but it could also be because it's not sustainable for the long haul. Because look at, you know, you can also play into the game of like Woolworths was Walmart's competitor a long time ago, and it shut down because of Walmart. You know, so you've got those instances too that can happen. I think it's imperative that you constantly pay attention to what your clients' needs are and what their mindset is at the time with the situation that you are with the solution that you are providing. It's because you know this, business coaches, you know, I focus on strategy. We're kind of like in the same box as lawyers, you know, cannot be trusted. Bad people, but we need them, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of them out there doing some unethical stuff, but how do you decide who to work with? The only way you can figure that out is to get in their face.
This is this is my thing right now is social media is about being social, and it's time we start bringing that social aspect back, actually giving a shit about the person on the other side of the phone, because let's be honest, we all work from our phones 90% of the time, and it's actually caring and having a conversation, because if I have a conversation with you and you're not my ideal client, someone who I am, you know, aiming to work with, I'm going to tell you that. And
yeah, I'm going to tell you, you know, I don't think you're a fit for my services right now, but I'm going to give you some things or somebody that can help you get one step closer. And when you get to this point, then you'll be ready for my services. Yeah. And I've done that several times.
Yeah. And I find there's a lot of people who are still.
People are going to make you very dizzy by moving my phone around.
I find there's still a lot of people who are, instead of taking that aspect into consideration, they're chasing a sale, they're chasing a number, they're not actually getting to know that person. So there's like, I have a lot of changes that I want to see right now in the online space, and I'm starting to make the moves to create those changes because I'm just done. I'm done with a lot of.
Yeah, there's when I see the box strategy. So the thing is that I do have a background. I have a master's in curriculum and instruction. I asked a teacher the other day. She's actually a professor at a very well-known university, and I asked her something because I was curious about what her thoughts would be on this question. I said, let me ask you something. If you had a group of students, even though you had all the curriculum and all the stuff, you were all prepared, you're an established teacher, blah, 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 not new. I said, would you still deliver that curriculum without, oh, I don't know, researching them first or giving them some kind of assessment? And she said, oh, God, no. She said, why in the world would you teach somebody and not know where they are at that stage? Why? She said, I don't understand that. And she went further. She said, the other thing is why do we expect everyone to have something done by a certain time? She said, we expect our children to be able to read by grade 3. What the hell? Fluently.
Mm-hmm.
She said, that doesn't address all the other things. And I'm sitting there going, this is exactly what's going on in the business coaching space. Is we have a lot of business coaches saying, get out there and do it. You can make $1 million trillion if you just do the thing, you know. And Alex Hormozy, he knows his shit. I'm not going to deny that. He knows his shit. And what kills me is his is a cold DM strategy. He's a salesperson. He focuses 100% on sales. He has no children. He has a wife who also helps him. Of course, it's sustainable for him.
Yeah.
And of course, what he's saying is right. But what kills me is that everybody's saying, you're right. And half of them don't even like the cold DM strategy. It doesn't align with them.
Yeah.
Yes, it works. But if you're not confident with that strategy, it's not gonna.
Nope.
It's not gonna work. And there's so many different ways to do your business. I think the biggest thing is, though, the biggest problem is people are not filtering their clients, and they're not allowing their clients to also qualify themselves.
Yeah.
Because we're just buy our shit. Most, not me, but you know,
Yeah.
most
That's
of
it.
the business coaches out there just buy our shit.
Yeah.
Here you go, and then you never see them after the sale.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me.
Buy my
You
shit,
can see more of me after the sale.
come in with my promises to make you $10,000 in a month. That's not a one size fits all. If you want, like,
No, you
that's
have to
very
be at a certain stage. When I hear, you know, I did help a client make 150K in a week. But here's the thing. Their income per year was 7 figures.
I was gonna say, you didn't just do that based on, you know, starting out, and it's being able to, you know, this is what's realistic.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like,
yeah, there's so
they're
many
not
pieces that
telling you what's required to have in place before we do this. And when I see those miracle moments with the beginners, no followers, no clients, and they, you know, they're making 280K, and you're going, nah, I'll see you in about a couple of years. See how you doing. That's I've seen, and I've also seen the you know, the quick fast snuff out with those fast success rates. I've seen businesses with staff get sudden success and they can't keep up with it, and they have shut down because they can't cover the cost of trying to keep up with it.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, all these, I have gotten people to fully booked in 90 days, but it's also me listening to that person and what they can and cannot do right now.
Exactly.
And what they're willing to do. You know,
That's
that's the thing.
And it's individually looking at all of the pieces that come into play. I'm starting to map out next year, and I'm looking at all the pieces and like, okay, this is how I am right now. Well, if this is what I want to see, what do I need to shift within myself to start seeing these results? What do I need to start implementing? There's so many pieces that I always come back to myself because it's the easiest thing to talk about when sharing, because, you know, we don't just talk about it, we are about it.
Well, I think that's the other thing is what is walking the talk. You know, I mean, it's for me, what I see, what a lot of people do is we have these big goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to become fully booked in 90 days, which you can.
Yeah.
But
what does fully booked like?
Sandwich you have to eat to get there if you're at 0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you know, with the client that I took from zero to fully booked, there was a lot of moments of it's not working. You know, 3 days ago you booked a client. You know what I mean? It's not easy. It's not
No.
easy because I mean, I got to give it to her. She got creative. She got real creative, you know, and she was like, well, I just saw this person out and about and I just brought it up and they were like, oh, I'm interested. Now I've got a time with them. And what do I say? And I'm like, you know what, bitch, you look at you. You're stepping out there and you don't even know where the hell you're going, but you're doing it because I told you what to do.
Yeah.
I just, here, this is the one thing, go do it now. We'll see where we go from there.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I mean, I think that's what we do is we have these big goals and it's got to do a website. And this is what most coaches do. Got to do a website, got to optimize your profile, got to get in there and get your content going. And then we got to start that email list. That's a lot of shit at once for anybody, to be honest. And then I've got people that come to me that already have that in place and they're going, we don't know which end is up.
I don't have
And
a
I think it's
website.
because we get into that, it goes back to that focus and not breaking it down.
Yeah.
You have big projects, and big projects you need to be okay with taking a while.
Yeah.
That website needs to be okay with taking a year to just get it up.
I don't have a website. When I first started my business, I had one. It didn't fucking serve me at
Same.
all. So now I don't have one. Now I have plans for one because I have plans for something bigger, but it's not my focus right now because no one is
That's
going
not what's bringing in the money.
no one is going to that, you know, and you go on podcasts and whatnot and everyone's like, what's your website? Come to my Instagram. Have a conversation with me. Come actually get to, like, you know what I mean? I don't want someone, oh yeah, here, go to whatever. I don't even have a domain name bought yet. Like, you don't
I
need
can't
to
tell
know
you how many
here.
times I've redone a website just because I wasn't sure what the hell to put
Yeah.
on it.
I'm like,
And the
you don't
thing
need to
is
go
I
here.
have a website. It's 100% a landing page. It is a free guide, 3 steps to become effortlessly booked, leahsparrow.com. That's what you get when you go over there. But if you really, really, really want to get support, contact my ass.
That's
And you know
it.
where I am. I'm on Facebook. You can
That's
DM
it.
me. I'm obviously on Instagram as well. I'm mostly on Facebook. But I mean, you know, there it is.
Yeah.
Come find me. But I will also post, like you do, I'll also post my content. I'll also share a little bit about myself because people stalk you.
Yep.
I've had people watch me for 2 years before coming to me. And I'm like, really? You never commented. No, but I've been watching you and I've been trying some of the things you talk about and I've gotten some results.
Yeah. You never know. You
You never know when you got a little serial stalker watching you. I mean, it just and that's most of my clients. I had one that came out of the clear blue that this is why I quit. I had a digital course when I first started, and this is why I was like, he bought the course, but it was for Facebook ads, and he was nowhere near ready for Facebook ads. And thank God I was doing a group thing, and he took full advantage of the whole thing. He ended up in one-on-ones with me. He had no website. Didn't even have a freaking profile set up on social media, really. And he wants to run ads on Facebook. And I'm going, holy hell. So we worked for 1 year. And I got him from having a few to many. He hired on staff. He had to. Otherwise, because we were like, oh, you run ads. They're going to come now. And I was able to help him focus on exactly where he needed to focus and what he needed to communicate. Now he has a full suite of offers and he has a digital course he's selling. And he's helping organizations versus one person at a time. So, I mean, but this is over the course of 5 years, people. This is not 1 month. This is not 1 week. This is not 1 year. This is over the course of 4 to 5 years. And that's because he said, I'm okay with going slow.
Yeah. And it's building that solid foundation instead of, going from 0 to 100 as fast as you can. It's building that foundation that is sustainable.
The thing is what he notices, because we ran a combination of organic and ads. He ran some ads, and then he went out there and he said, oh, I'm just going to ask people instead of running more ads, I'm just going to ask them for their email and tell them I've got this challenge coming up, blah, blah, blah. So he posts this, and gets thousands jumping on him because he literally said, you know, hey, I'm going to do this free event, basically like a strategy call, but he turned it into a challenge. And I was going, he calls me, he's like, help, help, what do I do? Oh my God, help. I was like, get a landing page up, put this in, put it into your email, call up Paul, who was his email, he was the platform that he was using. Call him up, tell him what's going on, and we get it set up. And he was at like 500 or at 500 by midday. He went from 0 to 500 midday just by doing that. He added the ones that he had taken in too. And then in 24 hours, he had 2,000 people on his email, and his provider said, what the hell is going on? Do you have a bot attached? What the fuck? And I said, we ran an ad, and then he did organic marketing. He said he just broke the freaking platform. And my client was like, thank God we had the support in place for this, because I would not know what to do. Now, how many sales did he make off of that? He made a few. He made a few, but it was just that made him realize, oh my God, I need to make sure that I have things in place in case they all bought. What would happen then?
Yeah.
And he made it a point to let everybody know, look, you know, this growing fast stuff is just, be careful, because I just had a taste of it, and it's like, holy shit.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a scary thing because you're in charge of those people's futures. That's when it hits you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've absolutely loved this conversation.
I know we could go on forever. We've been on for quite some time.
we could go on forever because I mean, I'm loving this conversation, but I will wrap it up here. Yeah. Is there anything you want to leave the audience with?
Well, if they have, if they need support, I have 3 different types of support in there. But if you want to get started, you can shoot me a DM, and we can talk about, I have a 90-minute one-on-one session, so you can get a game plan mapped out, so you can book some clients this holiday season, or you can work with me for 12 weeks. I also have the free mini course. So if you're interested, just DM Leah Sparrow LLC here on Instagram, or find me on Facebook at Leah C. Sparrow. You'll find me. It's very clear what I do.
I'm gonna post your handle in the caption for everyone to find you as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining today's episode of the show. I hope you found some value in it. And as always, join in the conversation. Leave us some comments with your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've loved this conversation. We could keep going on forever.
We could go forever, but we don't want to fire a hose of crap out of your audience this morning.
Exactly. Exactly. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye.